Today I'll be demonstrating why accuracy matters with GPS. Using a Trimble TerraFlex data collection workflow and the Nomad 5 handheld and the Centimeter R2. The Nomad is paired to the R2 via Bluetooth. So we're in Birmingham, Alabama. So out here we really are lucky because we get to use the free real-time network provided by ALDOT. So to use that, you have to have some kind of internet source. So I'm using this MiFi from Verizon, but you can actually place a SIM card inside the Nomad 5 and it'll actually accept an AT&T or Verizon. So as I said, we're using a centimeter grade unit. We're out here in the open and I'm getting about 0.8 inches in this spot. As you can see on the screen, we're using the ALDOT base station that's in Birmingham. So I'm going to get ready to take my first point here. What we're going to do is a test to show basically how to navigate back to points that you have collected. So I'm going back to our main screen and I'm going to start a line for a water main. So we're just going to pretend like this straight line here is a water main. I've got the beginning taped here with an X and I'm going to have it taped down there with an X as well. So I'm going to click water main. You'll see at the top it says line not collected. So we'll click on that. For this exercise, we're going to do point to point because we're just creating a straight line between this point and that point there. So I'm going to click, you always want to make sure you check your bubble level. Okay, and then you're going to click on that point. All right, so it's taken that first point, and then we're going to come down here. Put it right in the middle of that point there. Make sure we're level. Okay, and I have collected that line, so all I need to do now is press the check button, and then any kind of information about this line I could fill out now. Like if you had the install date, you would choose that, the material. There's all different types in these drop downs to choose from. Diameter, we'll just say since 3-inch line. So as you can see, there's a lot of different options to choose from. This is actually our rural water model that'll come along with the rural water package. Here you see all this grayed out area. This is actually called metadata. So this collects on its own in the background. Once we're finished, we'll hit the check button. And then up in the right corner, you'll see the little arrows twisted around like this. That's syncing up to the cloud. So since we have an internet connection, anything I collect, which will now be called a form, is going to go up to the cloud. If you're not connected to the internet, it will go up to the cloud when you get connected to the internet. So now that we've collected this line, I can actually click on the word forms. And again, forms is just whatever you've collected. You can click on water main and then click on the pencil and come in and see, you can edit or just basically look at what you've collected here. And as you can see, it says the line length is 15.8 feet. And I just roughly measured this with a tape measure around 16 feet. So now we're going to collect a point. There's several different ways to collect within the TerraFlex app, but I'm going to choose to work with inside the map this time. So you just click on map. It's going to bring up your map view. That's where you can see that line I just collected. You can see it here on the screen. But right now I'm standing on a valve. So to add that point, I would just press the plus button up on the top corner here. Once I click on the collect form button for control valve, it'll take the point, so you need to be sure that you're level when you're using a centimeter unit. So you'll click control valve. Okay, from here you can move anywhere you want, because up at the top it says point collected. Like I said, you just do these drop downs, fill out any information about this valve. Okay, and again, here's the metadata. You can see our project name, our estimated horizontal and vertical accuracy, and let's go ahead and we can take a picture this time. So I've collected my point, I've taken my pictures, I've filled out my attribute data, so I'm going to hit the check mark to create that form. So now we're going to navigate back to the line that we collected earlier. In the map view, there's 3 vertical circles on the top right. You'll click on that and go to navigate to coordinate. I've done that, and I've entered the lat long from our last point that I took on that line. I'll press start, and then it'll give me a compass down here at the bottom with the lat long listed that I typed in. So as you walk, you'll see the number. You'll get closer and closer to where you need to be. I always just recommend, once you start getting closer, when the numbers start going down below like 1 digit, you need to start moving really slow to get to where you need to be. Holding the pole as level will definitely help a lot, because if you're just off a little this way or a little that way leaning, it can actually really change your location. If you're looking for something like a 3-inch line, this will save you a lot of time, especially if you could map it before you've filled up the trench pipe in it. So then you could come essentially right back to that area with this centimeter unit, and you have to probe maybe a couple of times before you found it. So now we're going to do the same thing, but a little different. Navigating back to the valve we collected a little bit ago, I can actually click on the word forms and see the forms that I've collected so far. You'll see the distance you are from each of them. If you click on one, it'll start the navigation compass on the top right. So now I'm just going to attempt to walk back to the valve. Let's just say, sometimes they get covered up, so we might not be able to see it there. I'm going to walk back to it using this directional compass and the feet listed. Again, this is something you're going to want to try to hold the pole as level as possible. So it's telling us to come forward a little, then come back. So as you can see, now we're at 1.1 inches within that valve. So that'll definitely get you back to a valve just walking without putting in coordinates. I wanted to take a second to talk about the Trimble Nomad 5. It's one of my favorite handheld devices we have. One of the main things is it's very rugged. It's an Android device, and one of my favorite things is the ability to read it even in bright sunlight. So we have the sun right here, and I can see it perfectly. I know with a lot of other tablets that weren't really made for the field, like Trimble equipment, it is harder to see them. This can also be submerged underwater to a certain depth for like around 30 minutes. I don't think that would normally happen, but that just shows, how durable this equipment is and how it's made for the field. Another really cool thing about it is it has this plastic plate on the back. You can take this off, and there's two different devices that you can add on. You can screw back on to initially, I mean, it just makes it into one piece of equipment. One of them is a barcode scanner, and the other one is a GNSS module that's accurate up to it's a sub-meter accuracy.